All right, let's dive right in. We're going to explore a story today called The Sincere Return. And really, it's a journey that I think a lot of us can connect with. You know that feeling, that quiet, gradual sense of drifting away from the person you actually want to be? Well, this is all about the path back. And isn't that just the absolute truth? The story kicks off with this feeling we all know. It's never a big, dramatic decision to get lost. It's a slow drift. Nobody wakes up one morning and says, you know what? I think I'll lose my way today. It just happens piece by piece. So let's meet our central character, Mariam. We find her at her absolute lowest point, dealing with this heavy, crushing feeling. It's more than just a mistake. It's that awful weight of regret, when all those things you told yourself you'd get to later suddenly smack you in the face and you realize later is right now. So how did she even get here? Well, it wasn't one big thing. It was 1,000 little things. Tiny compromises. Pushing that inner voice aside, just for a moment. Putting off a prayer till later. Shrugging off that little pang of guilt. Each one felt so small, so insignificant at the time, but together, they created this current that just pulled her further and further out. And this is the result of all that. It's that devastating realization, that whisper in your own head that says, I don't even know who this person is anymore. It's not just about what she's done. It's about who she's become, a complete stranger to herself. And this is the question that's so terrifying. It's the one that keeps you stuck. The thought that maybe there's a line, a point of no return, and you've actually crossed it. The idea that maybe, just maybe, it's too late to go back. That's the real trap. But this is where everything starts to change. Because right here in this pit of despair, something starts to shift in her mind. Mariam begins to see her pain not as a punishment, but as something else entirely. A sign. This is the question that just flips the whole thing on its head. It's so simple, so logical, it cuts right through the noise of all that shame. She thinks, wait a minute. If I were truly lost, if I was a hopeless case, why would this hurt so much? The ache itself is proof that a connection still exists. And here's that huge mental shift. Before, she saw the pain and thought, see, I'm a failure. But now, she's reframing it completely. This ache doesn't mean she's broken. It means her heart is still alive. It's still fighting. It still cares. And this is such a powerful insight. The guilt that felt like her enemy was actually her greatest ally. It was proof she wasn't completely lost. Because the real problem isn't making mistakes. We all do that. The real disaster is when you stop caring that you're making them. And she was nowhere near that point. Okay, so this new way of thinking gives her the strength to actually do something. And that first step back, it's not about being perfect all of a sudden. Nope. It's about something much more raw and real. Just being sincere. But before she can take that step, she has to name the real enemy. And it's not her past actions. It's shame. Shame is that little voice in your head that whispers, you're too far gone. Don't even bother trying. It's a liar, and its only job is to keep you isolated and far away. This is so, so important. This journey back isn't about trying to pretend you were never flawed. It's not about proving you were good all along. It's simply about the honesty of admitting, you know what? I messed up. I lost my way. That vulnerability, that's everything. And just look at this. Look at her prayer. There are no fancy words, no big promises she might not be able to keep. It's just pure, uncut honesty. I messed up. Followed by that powerful desire for change, but I don't want to stay like this. That right there, that's the whole turning point. So, what can we pull from Mariam's story? Let's break it down into 5 truths. 5 key lessons that any of us can use when we feel like we've drifted too far off course. Okay, truth number 1. Your lowest moment is often your most honest one. When you hit rock bottom, all the excuses and defenses are stripped away. You're left with the simple, hard truth. And that painful honesty, it's not the end. It's the absolute necessary starting point. Second, that guilt that feels so awful, it's not a weakness. It's a vital sign. It's proof that your heart is still alive and connected to what's right. A heart that's truly gone cold doesn't feel anything at all. So if you feel that ache, it means there's something good in you still fighting. Third, you have to fight back.
You have to actively challenge that voice of shame that says you're a lost cause. That thought is a lie designed to keep you stuck. The moment you decide to take a step anyway, no matter how small, is the moment you start winning.
And fourth, remember the goal is to return, not to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need to be all cleaned up and fixed before you can turn back. The act of turning back is the beginning of the fix. And finally, number 5, what feels like your worst moment can actually become your most important one. It's a paradox, right? The moment you feel like you have absolutely nothing left is often the moment you become the most real, the most sincere, and the most ready for a true, lasting change. So, maybe that moment that feels like the end of the world is actually the beginning of a whole new one. Maybe feeling broken isn't a final state, but an opening, a chance to let something new in, to come back stronger and more sincere than ever before. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What broken part of your own story is just waiting to become an